to Terry Hartman, one of the librarians from UNMC McGugin Library, and she's here to give us our CME presentation. It was a requested topic that came from the faculty on how to identify high quality journals, and the flip side of that coin, how do I not fall into the trap of a predatory journal? So Terry, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Oh, and I want to thank Shanda. I've never been introduced to you, but I'm one of your librarians. So thank you for all the support that Children does for the discovery part, and we're very happy to be part of that. You all asking searches is my chocolate, so thank you for that. I created a Wakelet for you so you could go through it. I didn't do a PowerPoint, I did a Wakelet. I'm going to share my screen, but I put the link in the chat so that if I lose you, I don't want to lose anybody, but you would be able to get to it. Let's see if I can. Okay. Wakelet's free. It's a place where you can store things, and you can even have teams add on to sites. The learning objectives I've got for right now in this short period of time: identify the problem of predatory publishing, including its impact on research. And also I want to share with you how to locate and use the tools that you can assess the quality of journals and publishers that come your way, or when you're looking for areas to publish your research. You are creating, all those congratulations you had at the first of this meeting were great. They represent hours, days, years possibly of work that led up to those manuscripts being accepted. You want to put those in the best place possible. One of the definitions in an article that I've got on this Wakelet that they agreed to, and they described how long it took to come to this, predatory journals and publishers that are entities that prioritize self-interest at the expense of scholarship and are characterized by false or misleading information. They deviate from best editorial and publication practices. They aren't transparent, and they use aggressive and indiscriminate solicitation practices. I could ask you right now, who received yesterday a request for a publication? Yeah. I know, I did too. Mine are easy. When they say Dr. Hartman, I know that, nope, you don't know me. So you all receive these requests, even requests to publishers or conferences now. You have to watch out for those. I'm older, so I remember on the back of matchbooks, the colleges where you could write off for a diploma mills. Predatory publishers are similar to the diploma mills. You can pay for the money, you can pay to get your things published, and you have something to put on your CV. They benefit from the pressure that all of us are under as faculty members to publish, to get our word out, to share our science communications. Don't let them benefit from your hard work falsely. We have tools available. One of them is looking at you. You can ask the library for possible articles to look at, or if you've been if you've received something that says, "Wow, this looks good," maybe they're worthwhile. Send them on to the ask us at unmc.edu or myself, T. Hartman at unmc.edu, and say, what about this journal? I look up things on Twitter. I look for comments from other people. There's not really a one list anymore. The person that did the list got sued. So there's not one place that you can go to, but some of the tools that we have that I use, but then you can also use when I'm asleep, is the toolkit on the author toolkit. Hopefully, did this change to a new screen? Sure it did.
No, it didn't switch windows for us. There it goes. Okay,
there you go. So evaluating publishers and publications is one of the things on the author toolkit. Take a look at some of these other things that are made that are here available for you. You're wonderful, hardworking authors. You need to know what we've collected for you. Hopefully, yes, it held. Okay, so one of the things that we've got are the think, check, and submit. You can go through and make your decision process. is this, it takes you through the steps, what's going on. No one site is going to say it's good or bad. It's kind of like buying a car. It's going to say, what does it have that's going to serve you? Some of the questions that you could ask: who's on the editorial board? I've actually looked up some names on the editorial board. I think people have been put on editorial boards without their knowledge. So you can actually look through and say, who's on the editorial board? Is this only a certain area, or do those people really exist? Can you confirm that they really are serving that role? What's the acceptance rate of the journal? One of the things that's not necessarily in this timeline, what kind of a timeline do they have for publication? If they say they accept your manuscript on January 28th, and the author response will be given to you by February 3rd, and it will be published by February 10th. Do y'all believe that? I don't know. You've gone through this process a couple times. The trick for the senior members of your faculty to help the junior members, please let them know that's not how it goes. Y'all have to be open with them and saying, no, it's going to be a little bit more time. That's probably not what you want to do. For the junior members of your faculty, meet with your senior members saying, what are the journals that you publish in? What are the ones that you count on for your professional information? Y'all have a really good networking communication with each other. I'm going to go back to the Wakelet. So the JCR, I'm not going to go to this link because you have to log into it. JCR used to be called Journal Citation Reports, I think. Sorry. It's been the initials for so long. This is where you go in to find out if something's got an impact factor. It's pretty much has to be real. However, the one caveat that I've got, one of the journals was sold during its 2-year of impact factor, was sold to a predatory journal, and they banked on that legitimacy for a good long 18 months. So it wasn't necessarily real. We had to go through and take a look at the history of it, saying this is what it used to be, but now this is what it is. So you still need to understand buyer beware. You still need to take a look and say, does it have an impact factor? Just because something doesn't have an impact factor doesn't mean it's bad. And hopefully you all know that impact factors change. I could publish in a 35 impact factor journal, and next year it's not listed. So that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means it no longer has an impact factor. A big organization that takes care of looking at scholarly research, and they also have a list of journals, is the COPE. And I will go to new share. I'll get this handled down. Integrity. So they do have member resources. We're not necessarily members. Wondering if they do have the ability to get into journals themselves. They have the information about what their core practices are, ethical oversight, peer review processes, talking about what's a good peer review process, what's not, conflicts of interest. Man, this is not showing me what it showed me yesterday. So I was hoping that they had a little bit more. Generally, you're supposed to be able to look up and see if a journal is a member of COPE, and that will give you another idea of if it's real or not. And I know I'm not supposed to say real. One that just started in November, Compass to Publish, is a new resource that offers the ability to go through and check. So you can test a journal, go into it, and man, they just really like new screens. Come on. Humans will win. That's what's going to be on my t-shirt. So if you want to test the journal, you put in the name and you start the test, and it goes through the checks and balances of what this is. Has a little bit more about predatory journals and publishers. This is brand new from November. Let me know how your mileage goes. I'm still looking at it myself. I did include current survey just completed from Inter Academies on, and there's an email on this site that if you wish to put in your own experience, I wanted you to have that ability. I don't know if anybody here on this group were in that survey, but they do have an email there that you can share your own experience. This experience just I saw on Twitter the other day, and this is another format. So they had submitted a journal article and pulled it back. They hadn't published it, but then they realized it got published by shady editors. 2 people hijacked it. And I think they had a fake Springer banner. It looked legit. It looked like a legit publisher or legit journal. And then it turns out that it's not. So then you involve the publisher's legal team. Happy day. Another same type of story, different verse. I have heard of people that have sent in their articles. They've tried to pull them back once they figure out it was a predatory journal. Predatory journal doesn't give it back. So then you're hung. You're saying, okay, it's submitted. I can't submit it somewhere else. There's actually wording that we found that you can use if somebody's hijacked your publication, saying you have to pay us $400 or to publish it. We're not going to give it back. You can submit to another journal, a legitimate journal, with the wording that says, I've tried to do this, this is where it went, and this is what we've got now. Would you please consider it? If you have Twitter, this is one to take a look at. The story is pretty amazing. Articles that I've got here for you. This is the one where the definition came from. I do not have them in a certain order. So probably I've gone against everything. My librarianship, I didn't do it alphabetically, didn't do it date. I just piled them in there. So if there are any other articles you wish me to add to this, please let me know. thartman@unmc.edu, and I'd be glad to do that. This is the editorial by Beale, Jeffrey Beale. He was the librarian that was sued, which is why we don't have the Beale list anymore. He was sued by a publisher, so he's pulled it. Recent news on that people have peer-reviewed predatory journals. So if you receive peer review requests, and somebody let me know about my time. Sorry, I wasn't watching. I'm counting on you, Carrie. So if you get requests to peer review, pay attention, is that a predatory journal? That's what they're starting to do now, is saying, well, you're not peer reviewed enough. That's why you're peer reviewed, predatory. They're listening sometimes more than the legitimate journals. Well, we'll just pre-review more. This is a brand new article that came out this month. Predatory Journals and Conferences is a website that they're pretty active on Twitter, and I put a couple of their blog entries in there. There is, this is from a business journal, so it's not just medical and science, it's everybody. And in fact, I saw where, and I'll be adding this to it, Rolling Stone has offered to accept articles or accept authors for $1,200, I think. If you pay them $1,200, you can submit something that they may not print. I don't know what kind of a business plan that is, but I'll be adding that to the links of stories. And then Cabell's is a company, we do not have their resource. We don't pay for it here at UNMC, but that is a resource that they publish, used to be called the white list and the black list. And they've changed their wording, but there's a good list and a bad list for journals. We don't subscribe to it, so some of the information we can't get to, but I did link to their news blog so that you'd be able to take a look at it. So that was kind of a fast way of going through things. I imagine some of you have stories of your own that you could share. Please share with each other. You're not alone on this. If there's, I love to look up like 5 journals. I usually, if you say, here's my topic, give me 5 journals, and I'll see if it's indexed in Medline, because that's my first one. That says somebody has looked at this and it's legit and whatever. However, there are open access journals that are legit because of COPE, you can go through and figure out, are they a member of COPE, go through that think, check, submit checklist and find it that way. But if we can help save you time, save you steps, you're still in charge. I'm not going to be able to tell you, this is legit. You know, there's no gold ribbon that Terry Hartman can give to anybody saying this is solid. Out of 100 requests I might receive, I have found one that was legit, that looks scary as all get out. You know, mistypings in the invitation and everything else, but it was like a worldwide focus group on some kind of research, and I looked it up and it was like, that's real. It was real. So the person was able to take part, or at least they were able to discuss whether or not they were going to take part in it. We're glad to look that kind of information up for you. No problem. Okay. That was a lot. Were there any chat things? Because I don't see chat.
I don't see any right now. Thank you, Terry, so much. And I know that you're available for virtual appointments or email communication. So people who this raised questions for, or who want to dig in deeper with some of these tools, Terry is an incredible resource. We're so fortunate to have her. And so please do connect afterward and set up a time for a deeper dive.
And I thank you for everything y'all do. I've got the benefit of working with a great team here at McGugin. All kinds of folks have different ideas. If you find that I'm not the chocolate that you need, we have plenty of people. So if I've really enjoyed my time here at McGugin, knowing that we serve you.
Thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. I'll set my information in the chat. If you want to set up a meeting with me, I'm in the drop down.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Terry.
Bye-bye.